Good afternoon. My name is Larry Cedar, and I am back with you for another session on scanning, spelled Sqanning. Scanning is a completely made up word, but what it is, it's a relaxation technique which utilizes the incremental release of muscular tension to achieve a deep state of physical, emotional, and mental calm. It's a very simple technique, easy to learn, easy to practice. You could say perhaps difficult to master, but it's just a matter of degree. The minute you start, you'll start feeling benefits. I've been doing it for several years, many, many years. And up until a couple of months ago, I was doing sessions like these pretty much every day. However, I needed to take a break from that because I was completing a production of a one-man show, which we've now finished. So now I'm back. So scanning, the incremental release of muscular tension. So this technique is based on the writings of a man named Thaddeus Golas, Golas, who wrote a book called The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. And in it, he basically postulates that all of life, the entire universe, everything we see, think, say, do, is either in a state of contraction, squeeze your hands together, or expansion, release. So you felt it. You felt the basic force of the universe. It's either contraction or expansion. So this book is amazing, and I highly recommend you pick it up sometime and read it. I've been reading it for many, many years. And based on that technique, based on that philosophy, I've developed a physical technique for relaxation, which I utilize in my work and in my life. And so I come to these sessions to share that with you. As I said, it's free. It's simple to learn, simple to practice. I typically have done in the past half-hour sessions, and I'm now paring that down. I want this to be as simple and accessible as possible, meaning that should you decide to practice 1 minute, 30 seconds is beneficial, and I'll explain why in a minute. So 15 minutes should be enough. And if I do a 15-minute session, I can maybe squeeze in a couple a day, and it helps you to understand that this technique does not have to involve a great deal of time investment, certainly not any financial investment or intellectual investment for that matter. It's very simple to learn. So let's get started. If you accept the premise that we are either in any given moment in our life in a state of contraction, squeeze your hands together, feel that, or expansion, release, then what you'll notice is that most of life is leaning us towards a state of contraction. Contraction being the bringing together of thoughts, ideas, words, actions to achieve a goal. And that's great. That's how we live our life. Unfortunately, if you look at the balance of life, contraction, expansion, we tend to be more contracted. And this leads us to be unhappy, tense, confused, physically racked with pain or illness. So what we need to do is bring our life back into balance, move ourselves into a more expanded state so that we are centered. So that's all we're trying to do. We don't want to completely expand because that means we've dissipated and turned to nothing and dust. Our body is a contraction. We want to maintain that. What we're trying to achieve is balance. So the simple fact about this process is that you cannot contract and expand at the same time. It's just an amazing phenomenon. You can't squeeze your hand and release that tension at the same time. You're either contracting or expanding. It's the same with our body. So the great thing about this technique is that the moment you begin to expand, you stop contracting. If you expand 1 degree, you've contracted 1 less degree. So any amount of expansion is helpful. And I say that because people sometimes when they're going to undertake a technique or learn a technique, they think, oh, I haven't got the time. And I'm just here to tell you that all you need is 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Any amount of expansion brings you into a more expanded state. All you have to do is start infusing your life with more expansion to bring it into balance. The discipline of it is letting go of our contraction. We want to hang on to things. We create ideas and thoughts and processes and habits, and we don't want to let them go. So it's difficult sometimes. Sometimes we can't do it ourselves, and we feel like we need to take a pill to make that happen, or drink a glass of beer, or have a shot of whiskey. That's a form of chemical expansion. Unfortunately, there are side effects to that. So you want to learn how to expand on your own. So let's get started. Again, we want to keep these sessions simple and short and simple to practice. Squeeze your hands together, tight, 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 and release. 3, 2, 1, release. So that's expansion. So anytime during the day when you feel contracted, how do you know you're contracted? You feel unhappy, tense, confused, limited, restricted. You know it. You feel bad. Take a moment and just to remind yourself, squeeze your hands together and say, I'm contracted. And 3, 2, 1, release. To remind yourself that you have the capacity within you at any moment in your life to expand. That's what this technique teaches you, that you have control over this state. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are in control of your circumstances. So you can, at any given moment, create this more expanded state, which leads you to a greater sense of calm, stillness, clarity, availability, peace, joy, and just happiness. So again, let's do this again. Squeeze your hands together, tight, 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 3, 2, 1, and release. So just do that again. Squeeze tight, tight, tight. That's contraction. 3, 2, 1, release. Okay. So all you're doing is familiarizing yourself with that sensation of release, because that's all we're doing. All we're going to do in this process is just take little parts of our body, slight little muscular zones, I call them, and move them from a state of contraction into a state of expansion. Now, the amazing thing is that as you start to expand, your body starts to give in to that process. You will feel initial resistance. I've been doing this for decades. I always feel resistance initially, but as you begin to let go, your body will start to realize it's not dangerous to let go. It's safe. Not only that, but it feels great. So expect resistance, but continue. So let's just do this again. Squeeze your hands together. 3, 2, 1, and release. Take a deep breath. The reason so many self-help techniques like yoga and otherwise involve deep breaths is because breath is expansive. When we are contracted, we tend to stop breathing. So when you expand, you're sending a message to your body that you are changing direction. You're moving to a more expanded state. So take as many deep breaths as you like. It's always helpful. Let's do it again. Squeeze your hands together. Tight, tight, tight. 3, 2, 1, and release. Now just sit still for a moment. 30 seconds. Deep breath. Stillness, like breathing, is expansive. If action, taking action, contracting our muscles is a contraction. Using our mind to think thoughts and using our body to take action is a contraction. Stillness stops that process. And again, anytime you move towards expansion, you stop contracting. When you stop moving, when you stop thinking, you are moving towards expansion. So breath and stillness are very effective means to continue this movement towards expansion. So now we're going to go through what I call the muscular zones. And again, I'll be back here every day, sometimes twice a day, to just reinforce this. This is the technique. It's very simple. If you see one session, you've seen all the sessions. I will repeat the same technique every time. The simplicity is the beauty of it. All you need to do is reinforce the technique and create a new habit of expansion. So we're going to go through 8 muscular zones of the body. We're going to use the muscles to move ourselves into a state of expansion. Muscular contraction, again, is a contraction. As you release the muscles, we move into an expanded state. This influences the muscle of the mind, if you will, which causes it to, by association, relax, let go of obsessive thoughts and concerns and worries, and start to calm down. We're using our muscles to get to our mind, to our sense of well-being. Zone 1 is the face. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now, I just did the same thing with my face as I do with my hand. Watch my hand. 3, 2, 1, release. I'm going to do that with the muscles of my face. A very subtle change is all that's required. It's all you need. You'll feel that change. And as you practice, you'll become more aware of your ability to do that and what it feels like. So the face, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now you saw my face drop. That's the face relaxing, sort of. So that's why we start with the face, because you can really feel the difference. You know, we have a natural musculature in our face, which allows us to express ourselves. So we're familiar with those feelings. So when you let go, 3, 2, 1, just turn that switch. You turn off those muscles. Zone 2 is the top of the head. Sense your top of your head and what tension you might have when we're worried or concerned. We tend to carry a lot of tension in the skin and musculature of our head. 3, 2, 1, and release. You feel that drooping sensation. Zone 3 is the back of the head. 3, 2, 1, and release. You feel that letting go. You're slumping, you're letting go, you're releasing. We tend to walk around in a state of contraction. It's subtle, but it's always there. And then we wonder why we're so exhausted at the end of the day, even if we've just been sitting around in an office. Well, because we've been holding this semi-contracted state all day. So we let go. It's a conscious decision. You're learning to make that conscious decision. And what you'll become aware of, what happens for me is I'm stunned sometimes at how much tension I was carrying in my body that I wasn't even aware of until I made the conscious decision to let it go. So sit in a chair and let's do this again. We're going to move to, we've done the face, the top of the head, the back of the head. Zone 4 is the neck. 3, 2, 1, and release. You feel that? Take a deep breath. Sit for a moment. Now you feel yourself starting to expand. You're letting go of muscular tension. You're releasing the musculature of the body in a subtle, slight way. It's a slight change. You're moving from here to here. Just that much. Any amount of expansion is that much less contraction. So never underestimate the power of the slightest relaxation. You can sit in the chair and go, I'm just going to relax my whole body. 3, 2, 1, and release. You may find yourself taking a breath because you've just taken charge of your state of contraction expansion. Zone 4, the neck. 3, 2, 1, and release. There it goes. Which is associated with the shoulders. Let them drop. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, the shoulders, just let them drop ever so slightly. 3, 2, 1, release. The reason scanning is called the incremental release of muscular tension is because increments, tiny, tiny changes in your musculature, in your state of being, make great changes in your overall sense of wellness. 5, shoulders, 3, 2, 1, drop, and release. The chest is zone 6, chest in the front of the body, 3, 2, 1, and release. There you go. Zone 7 is the back and down into the pelvis, 3, 2, 1, and release. There you go. Okay. Just letting that go. Just letting it go. I see a friend of mine here. Daniel, how you doing? Thanks for visiting. Now, I want to tell you something very important. We all have areas in our body where we carry tension. Okay. We just have favorite places that get sore or tense. The face, the neck, the back. We all have areas of pain. Tension is your body's way of protecting itself. We tend to, out of fear, go into a contracted state when we are afraid because we feel like we will thereby protect ourselves. Okay, so it's a good thing. Our body's trying to protect us. If someone goes to take a punch at you, what do? You defend yourself. So that's good. But the body doesn't necessarily know when you're out of danger. So it will hold that state. And we walk around with pains and aches because our body has moved into a contracted state that it doesn't know it's safe to let go of. Now, again, we can take muscle relaxants. We can go to a masseuse or a chiropractor. You can take a shot of whiskey. All of these are external ways of forcing your musculature to relax. But I'm suggesting that we all have the power within us to let go of that tension ourselves. So the back and the pelvis, very important. These are areas where we all hold a lot of tension. I like to say the pelvis is fraught with tension because not only is there muscular tension, but there's, shall I say, sexual tension. You know, the organs of the body, waste elimination are all located in that zone, so it tends to be fraught with fear and anxiety and tension. So sometimes it's strange or weird to let go of tension in that area, but just try it. Again, small amount. The back and down into the pelvis, 3, 2, 1, and release. There you go. Just watch for that change. Again, if you ever forget what it feels like to release tension, remind yourself with your hands. 3, 2, 1, release. This is the key. This is the template where you can do one hand. 3, 2, 1, release. That sensation too is good because you can feel yourself creating that tension. You did it yourself and you can let it go. 3, 2, 1, and release. You feel that? It's what we all want. It's why we all go to the masseuse. It's why we all take that shot of whiskey or that beer at the end of the day. We want to let go. We desperately want to let go, but we don't necessarily have the tools or understanding of how to do that on our own. So we take external processes and apply them to us for better or worse. Let's move down into the final zone, zone 7, which is the feet. 3, 2, 1, and release. Now the feet are astounding. You may have heard this before, but the reason there's the process of reflexology, which is a massage of the feet too, is that all the nerves in our body tend to end in our feet. You can rub or massage an area of the foot and that will help a stomach ache or a headache. So the feet are amazing. If you can learn to relax the musculature of your feet and let the blood circulate into those feet and just relax, you will have gone a long way towards benefiting your overall health. The feet are difficult sometimes because we're not familiar, especially other areas of our body, with how to let go. We maybe have not done it. We know how to squeeze our hands together and let go. We use our hands all the time. But we're not exactly sure how to let go of the tension of the feet. That's why you practice. That's why you practice this technique. I practice this technique all the time because I want to get better and better at it. My goal, my ultimate goal, is to come to a place in my life where I can instantaneously let go of all the tension in my body because that serves my health, it serves my career, it serves my mental and spiritual and emotional well-being. A relaxed person is generally a happy and successful person. We can't always achieve that, but we try. Again, it's a balance. Contraction, expansion. We want to be centered. Don't want to turn into a bowl of jello. That's completely expanded. Then you're nothing. You're not trying. You're not doing anything. I live on this earth. I want to participate and succeed. I want to balance. I want to be able to contract very powerfully when I need to. If I'm on stage, I'm an actor, or when I'm trying to achieve something physical or emotional, I want to be able to apply myself. But I also want to be able to learn how to let that go. So we're achieving balance. So we've done 8 zones. Let's move through them quickly and then we'll call it a day. Again, trying to keep these sessions to 15 minutes. And then practice on your own. Whenever you can, take 1 minute and do it. The face, 3, 2, 1, and release. The top of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. The back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. The neck, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Feel that tiny release? You have the power. Zone 5, the shoulders, let them drop a millimeter. 3, 2, 1, and release. The chest and stomach, front of the waist, 3, 2, 1, and release. Down the back and into the pelvis. Let go. Let go of the pelvis and all that that entails. And just trust that it'll be okay. 3, 2, 1, and release. You're sitting a little bit more comfortably in your chair. You're sinking in. And finally, zone 8, 3, 2, 1, and let the feet go. Release. Sit for 30 seconds. Take a deep breath first. Another. 30 seconds, absolute stillness and silence. Deep breath. Once more, a reminder, squeeze your hands together. That's contraction. 3, 2, 1, release. Let it go. That's it for today. I will repost this session, this 15-minute session, a little bit over on my Facebook page, also on the Sqanning page. Go to my Sqanning page on Facebook, Sqanning, just NG. Just do a search for that, and all my previous sessions as well as these new sessions will always be posted there. And that's all for today. Hope you feel better. Again, take a moment to release and let go and see what it does for you. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.